Like, bro, if you don't have $5 to like just toss out there after you're the one that initiated the date, you probably should have stayed home.
Cook some noodles. There's some shrimp in it.
Look, it's spaghetti in there.
It's spaghetti in there.
Thank you for tuning in to Sip on This with A Paris. About to get lit with these topics. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for the love and your time. Never get to like, comment, subscribe. Without further ado, I bring to you this for you to sip on too.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Sip on This. Today's guest is... I told y'all last episode I'm not going to keep introducing my guest as...
I introduced myself. I introduced myself. My name's Chasse, also known as DJ Elroy.
Yeah. We'll get more into that towards the end of the episode. But today's topic, actually, the reason why I called Chasse to be on tonight's episode is because Chasse actually came across an interesting post on Instagram a couple of nights ago that basically went along the lines of this, right? So basically, it sounds like, if I recall correctly, this young lady sounded like she was like a third wheel on a date. She went to dinner with her best friend and the best friend's boyfriend. And basically, the check came and the boyfriend says, oh, this is supposed to be two separate tickets. Meaning, him and his girlfriend have one check, and the best friend had her own tab. And the girl took it upon herself to then basically text the best friend and be like, yo, leave your guy, like he's broke. Like, that's not the guy you should be dealing with. And so I guess she took it and posted it on Instagram or whatever, and since then it's gone viral. And so tonight's topic came in mind from that post, and it is about gender roles. So, for starters, what is your take on what transpired in that post that went viral on Instagram?
I hate an ass friend.
Okay, we're the
yeah, why would she do that? My question is, why was she there? If that was necessarily the guy and that girl's their date, why was she there?
Yeah.
And I feel like she was there to hate, to be that person to hate. I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain that. Because why else was she there for? Like, why was she there?
In that situation, I don't know. I just feel like, because, okay, this is what I kind of equate that to, but for less of an extreme case, is like, okay, so back when you were dating, which was a while ago, FYI, because he's married. So back in your dating stages, right? Have you ever been at a bar, wanted to get at a girl, and she's with like one or two other girls or whatever? Would you just buy the one girl you're interested in talking to a drink, or would you buy her friends drinks too?
See, I'm the wrong person to ask that, because it could go either way. It could go either way in so many situations, and who it is, it could go so many ways. Yeah. If it's if it's just someone random and I see you at the bar and you with your friend, not necessarily, I wouldn't necessarily pay for your friend's drink too. Yeah. But if we're at the bar and I know you, we somewhat had some type of, exchange of words or whatever, then yeah, your friend possibly could get a drink too. No, I get a drink too.
I get where you're coming from. Yeah. I honestly think,
because at some point, like, I get it, you can be nice, you can, show you're hospitable, but at some point it's just like, all right.
Yeah.
What are you doing it for?
Yeah.
What are you doing it for?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing it for yourself, more kudos to you, but at some point it's just like, I feel like if you're trying to get at someone and you're in a bar setting, I feel like you don't need to spend all your money or buy them as many drinks as possible to show that you like them. Yeah. I don't know. That's not it. Yeah.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from too. My mindset is
buy your friends drinks and everything. Yeah. To be accepted.
I think I pretty much, for the most part, do agree with what you're saying or whatever. especially if it's only like, so what I mean specifically is like, okay, if it's a girl at the bar I'm interested in, want to get at or whatever, again, if it's a random person, chances are 9 times out of 10, if we're in a bar setting, back pre-COVID, mind you, this is back when outside was open and the bars be flooded. I don't necessarily even know just by at first glance who you're actually there with. It'll be different if you guys had like a table to yourselves or something like that. But if we're like legit at the bar and I see you, as you said, like across the way or whatever. Yeah,
I'm sending you a drink.
Yeah, I'm sending you a drink or whatever. Yeah. Now, if we have conversations outside of that moment, besides send the drink and then we duck off or whatever, and like you take me to like introduce me to your friends or whatever. If the vibes are right, I don't mind doing gestures like that, like maybe like around for the table or whatever. Yeah. Especially if it's within my means. Yeah. But I'm not gonna sit up here and break my pockets.
There's no reason to step outside your lines
at the end of the day because I don't know what your intentions
just
are.
Meeting.
You said what?
There's no reason to step outside your lines for anybody, especially if I'm just meeting. Mm-hmm. I'm just meeting you and you want me to buy you, your friends.
To me, honestly, that comes off.
And that's not even. And the crazy thing is, girls will sit there and say that's broke boy mentality.
Listen.
Like, how is that broke boy mentality? I don't get that. Yeah. And to really dog a guy and be like, that's broke. You broke. Yeah. You can't pay for me and my friend.
Yeah.
What if I just don't want to?
Yeah. and like, that's going back to the post, right? Now, granted, I will say disclaimer. Majority of the women specifically in the comments were all like, girl, if you're broke, just say that. Because that is hard to, like, not feel that way, like, because it's like, why are you so upset at the fact that he doesn't just want to pay for the girlfriend? Like, I don't think he's obligated to pay for you too, just because you're the.
Then I'm sure friend. That conversation never happened. Like, I'm gonna pay for your friend too. Yeah, I know that conversation didn't happen. Yeah, that's why it got posted.
Yeah, and I wonder. I don't think they posted the entire thread, but I wonder how her friend responded to that. Like the one that's in the relationship, I don't think they show from her point of view how she responded back to that friend's like statement or whatever, saying that, your dude is broke because he didn't pay for me at dinner tonight.
I wonder how she would respond.
Right, I'm curious too. As a matter of fact, ladies, if you're listening to this too, first off, state how you feel about this, your perspective regarding this particular topic too in the comments. But so state whether you agree or disagree, whether you feel like the guy was wrong for what he did, if he's in fact, in your opinion, a broke boy, especially why. And then
please explain why.
Please explain why. The why, please. But then also talk to the fact, like, if you were the friend dating the guy and a friend came at you that way and be like, yo, you need to get rid of old dude because I'm getting broke boy vibes from him due to the fact that he didn't, just pay for my dinner for them. But that made me think of gender roles, specifically, again, like, to the fact that I'm curious to know, like, whether you personally believe still in gender roles, meaning guys are built to do certain roles and then females are cut out to do certain things or whatever, or whether you just feel like some things can be equally shared on both, between both genders or whatever. But then, crap, I lost my train of thought that fast. But what I was getting at pretty much was that, like, if you feel like things should be cut and dry, like men should only be obligated to do X, Y, and Z, while women, should do this, or do you feel like some of the responsibilities can actually nowadays specifically be shared?
Now, I feel like it's both. I feel like now it's both. I feel like because women fought for their equality to, be able to not just be in the kitchen or whatever. I feel like as men, you have to accept that. I feel like you have to accept that as her independency, just being a woman. And if she wants to do that, hell, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm not Not saying like you don't need to do that. Like, I mean, if you want to do it, go ahead, go for it, go full force ahead. Far as male roles, like, of course, you know, the guy's supposed to be the one to simple, like, you know, cut the grass or whatever it may be. And, you know, some roles is necessarily for the women, but I mean, not saying the guy can't do it either, but, you know, it just go, it's the yin and the yang pretty much. So it's like, you can't do everything that someone else do, nothing or whatever, you know? That's how I feel about it. So I feel like it's a big pile of both of them. Yeah. You got your gender roles, but at the same time, it's an equal thing. But, you know, some people live where men do everything, the woman does absolutely nothing. Yeah. You know, some people live like that. Yeah. And whatever floats your boat.
Again, some of that too, especially now that you broke it down like that at the end there, is I feel like tradition. So I feel like depending on what culture you come from, depends on...
That plays a big role in it too.
Yeah, depends on what like men are supposed to do opposed to what women are supposed to do. Because, you know, in some cultures, they feel like women can't have opinions. Women should only be cooking. Yeah, women should only be cooking, cleaning, and their only job is that, like, more so like the housework and taking care of the children and stuff like that, while the men are supposed to be like the providers or whatever. And I feel like we are kind of like breaking out of that mindset, like that mold or whatever that, you know, from back probably like more so like our grandparents' generation or whatever. Yeah. Getting away from that, because now I do feel like some of those responsibilities are kind of like shared. But where it gets tricky is, how do I word this? I feel like going off of like the independent woman comment that you made, right? I feel like a lot of guys are threatened by women's independence for various reasons. But for me, I feel like, again, my opinion, I don't want this to come off as if all guys feel this way. But me specifically, I feel like, for one, I'm not threatened by a woman's independence. But what turns me off is when women make you feel as though they don't need you. And I feel like in order for people to be in, you know, just solid relationships, I feel like at the end of the day, if you're making someone feel less valued and like not needed, why are you guys together? Right. Because I feel like at the end of the day, like if the woman is saying she's the table, the legs, the meal on the table, like if she's all of this, yeah, why are you there? Yeah, if you can do all this for yourself, like at the end of the day, two people coming together are supposed to build something and elevate one another, right? If you're saying essentially, well, I don't need you because I can elevate myself. Okay, well, I'm out then. Like, why am I here?
And I think that really only comes from having someone that you know that, like, I feel like when two people know, like, I mean, at the end of the day, we're good without each other. I feel like that's when that doesn't, like, you know, say someone is like, he can't do shit without me, they can't do X, Y, and Z without me, then that's when that gets thrown out. Like, you can't do nothing without me. I'm the legs, the meal, I'm everything. But when two people know, like, I mean, we'll be good without each other, whatever happens, then I feel like that doesn't come about.
Yeah, I totally agree too. And I also feel like, also from a guy's perspective, speaking for myself, I feel like when women kind of see, you know what, let me rephrase what I was actually about to say. I feel like regardless whether you're a man or a woman, I feel like if you, without even having to come out and say so, if you move a certain way that comes off so independent, it almost is a disservice. And it cuts your pull down as far as the potential people you can date, because they automatically deem you as a threat without even getting to know you.
Without even knowing.
So, for instance, again, just to be transparent. So, you know, with me being single, being a homeowner, you know, from the outside looking in, a lot of people just see my success without me having to come out and like brag or boast about it, right?
Right.
And I've actually been told from someone close to me, they're like, you know, one of my friends or whatever made a comment that was like, yo, like, where's his wife? Like, he got all this stuff going for himself or whatever. Like, he seems like a catch, but why does no one necessarily interested in him or like whatever. And my personal opinion, again, from something that I've heard from other women that have shared this with me, is sometimes you come off so strong-headed and like just having your shit so well put together that women that may not have all their shit on the same level as you find that intimidating and don't even want to necessarily deal with
that extra baggage.
Yeah, because it's just like, damn, like, I don't think I can bring anything to the table because he seems well off by himself.
Yeah.
And I feel like that too goes for women. If a woman seems so independent, and even if she's humble as they come, you know, and doesn't brag or boast, and she's open to meeting somebody, and like whether the guy has his shit together or not, she's, you know, willing to work through it. You got what I'm saying? And assist him and get him where he wants to be. But a lot of men, again, find that intimidating and are just like, nah,
maybe not.
Maybe not. I need someone out there that's more so up to like my level, more so my speed, not necessarily where they want to be in life and stuff just yet. And I think that plays a part in this too.
That plays a big part in it.
Yeah.
That plays a huge part in it. Just someone like, all right, I'm about to get with this person. They got X, Y, and Z going for them. And here I am.
Yeah.
Here I am just whatever it is that you just right there doing. That's it. So it's like, sometimes that is intimidating. That is intimidating. I know for a male's perspective, and sometimes for a female, I can see that too. Where it's like, this guy's just doing X, Y, and Z, and here I am, little old me, being whatever it is that you're doing. You know?
I will say though that I feel like that's more men that are intimidated by a woman's independence than a woman. I feel like women are more prone to being attracted to men that seem that independent. But then again, I feel like the drawback can be certain men take the fact that they're so well established to where like they belittle whatever woman
comes your way.
And when I say that specifically, what I'm actually trying to just come out and say is they become more controlling because they know that if they're the provider, they hold the finances, so they can dictate how much you spend and when.
What's going on?
Yeah, they can just dictate how you move essentially.
Yeah,
and where women end up potentially at times feeling like prisoners in their own relationships. And something else I wanted to speak to too, though, the way that I was raised to not just as a man know how to do like maybe like little things regarding a car or little things around the house, like household type of work or whatever, but I was also taught because of the way that my father was raised, being that he was raised by mostly women, and although I was raised by a lot of women as well, it just came natural that like you needed to pick up on certain things that women are more so known to do. So again, you can show them like, look, I can do this too. I can carry this weight if you ever get to it. Like, say for instance, like a woman that you're dealing with ends up getting sick, right? But she's the person that typically cooks, cleans, does all this stuff. If you're the guy in the relationship and you don't know how to do any of this stuff that she's able to do,
what you there for? Not necessarily what you're there for, but
it's kind of like, well,
where's your weight?
Like you need to be able to pick up that load. If you can't, it's a bad look on your part.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? So speaking for myself, like, do I know how to cook? Yes. Do I like it? No, but I can do it if necessary.
Need be.
Yeah. And it's going to be fire, FYI. I just don't like the cooking. I don't like the dishes and stuff, but
turkey wings be fire.
Yo. You know
turkey wings be fire.
But I just don't like the cleaning and stuff that comes with it. But again, I have OCD, so I definitely know how to cook, clean, all that stuff. But especially if it's required at times of like hardships. Well, I feel like if you specifically cut out certain responsibilities and deem them only for a specific gender, stuff like that, I feel like will hinder a relationship. So like if the roles were reversed and the man was the one that like his health was down or something like that, most women will probably be like SOL because it's like,
they'd be out of luck.
He's typically the one to mow the grass.
And that's funny. That's funny you say that. I remember growing up, my uncle had a chore sheet, and my cousin, brother and sister, she would have to mow the lawn sometimes, and it would just in my head. I was like, why is she mowing the lawn?
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, like you said, the gender roles. It's like she's a girl. Why is she mowing the lawn? But like you said, and that's where it comes back to the independence. You still, you're being equal. Like you being equal. Like you're not lesser than nobody. You know how to cut the grass just like a man too. So there's no difference. There's no, no shortcut for anybody. So everybody's the same, pretty much.
And going further off of what you just said too with the chore sheet, right? Mm-hmm. I personally really like a woman that can flex without I like a silent flex, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
In the sense of example, right? Again, being transparent, speaking from a personal incident. So I think my dad either had to go out of the country for work, or he may have had a surgery or some point that put him down for out of commission for a couple weeks or something like that. And my mom was the one mowing the grass, and my mom genuinely doesn't mind doing stuff like that. She's like, oh, you can't. Or my mom is also the type though, because women, you can probably attest to this too. If you ask a guy to do something and he's taking too long to do the chore that you give him, they're like, you know what, I'll just do it myself. And my mom is also prone to being like, you know what, I asked you to mow this grass twice this week. I'm not going to ask you again. She'll just get out there and mow it herself. You know what I mean? And from the outside looking in, that's what I want in someone I'm dating too. I want someone that can pick up the weight again if necessary. Not that I expect you to do this all the time. It's just on,
some stuff I feel like would be, it's just like common sense.
Yeah. But again, common sense isn't so common.
It isn't so common. Again,
this whole conversation stemming from a girl that felt like
she was supposed to get a free meal,
entitled to get a free meal
on a friend's date.
On a friend's date, on your third wheel. You get what I'm saying? And then I feel like oftentimes, again, ladies, sorry, not sorry, those group chats be the death of a lot of your relationships, because you got all these friends, especially single friends, that love to sit up here and tell you what you should be doing in your relationship, even if it's a relationship they're happy with and don't really have any problems in. Next thing you know, they will talk you out of being with a good dude.
Ain't got no sneaky link.
And what that equates to, in my opinion, is that's a friend that you potentially need to cut off, because that friend clearly comes off as if they want you to be just as miserable and bitter as them. Mm-hmm. Again, this is my opinion. Don't. I mean, you can come at me for it. It's not going to change how I feel. There was something else in the midst of me saying there was another scenario that I came across too when it came to gender roles. Completely slipped my mind that fast. But
it's like if I see my girlfriend outside changing a tire.
Yeah. Or you know what? Something else. Let me ask you this. This for the old school. Well, people that were raised more so old school. So you and your girl together, right? Mm-hmm. Y'all go to the gas station. Mm-hmm. Who's pumping the gas?
Always got to pump.
So again, that's how I was raised too. If you and a girl just so happen to be in the car together, does it matter who's paying? So if she's the one paying for gas, mm-hmm. are you still the one pumping? Or mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, that's differences in ways that people were raised or whatever. Yeah. That's how I was raised. But I know some dudes out literally the girl will get out, pump her gas, whatever, and neither one of them find anything wrong with it. Not that I'm not gonna necessarily.
That's what you do. That's what you do.
Yeah, if you like it, I love it. That's not my business. But someone I'm dealing with, hell, even if I'm just friends with someone, I'll just be like, do you want me to pump the gas? And if they say no, I'm fine. Then I'll kind of be like, all right, at least I offer, and I genuinely would do that for you if you would ask it that.
Man, there's some dudes that sit in the car and let their mama pump the gas.
Really? I was about to ask something else. This is actually an older topic that still goes with this. Mm-hmm. So do you remember a while ago, I think it was you that sent this. Remember a while ago, you sent us in group chat, it was a debate on I think it was actually another podcast that took place on Twitter where this girl and this guy went on a date, and the girl has a kid, and I guess they went on this date, and after the date or whatever, the girl was like, "Can you stop me by McDonald's to get my kid a Happy Meal?" And when they pulled up, the total was like $5, and the guy looked at her like,
that was that other friend that said that way. I remember that. Yeah, that was
it wasn't me, but we were all in that. And I just remember we had a big debate with our whole group chat about the acceptable way to like maneuver through that situation.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell the outcome of it because it went on for quite a while actually. But that kind of still kind of like, it's the same but different from the Instagram post.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
your child is the third wheel.
Yeah. I feel like when it comes, I feel like when it comes to kids though, if you're dealing with someone with kids, you know, that comes with the territory. Yeah. So I feel like...
But I still ain't about to buy... Look, I ain't about to buy no Happy Meal.
But for me...
But at the same time, I'll buy my Happy Meal. Yeah. But it's like... I don't know situations, like, man. Situations.
So my standpoint with that specific scenario, FYI, was I feel like if I'm dealing with someone with a kid and I'm taking you out on a date, and now granted, not gonna lie, I don't understand why the kid didn't eat before you. No judgment. That was my point of view. I was just confused as to why that situation was playing out that way anyway. But again, you know, not my situation, not my place to judge or whatever. But what my stance is okay, if I'm interested in this girl, I know she has a kid that clearly, if they're a solid mom, the kid should always be number one priority wise, right? And if I'm genuinely interested in this woman, knowing that the kid has to come with the territory, if you say, "Oh, can we stop at McDonald's? I just want to buy the kid like a Happy Meal or whatever on the way to the crib."
I mean, that's nothing.
It's just like, why would I not get the kid? It's $5.
It's $5, yeah.
It's $5.
But I feel like it also turns into a problem when it's just like you said, granted, don't know the situation or backstory or whatever, but I feel like it just turns into a problem when it's like, if we're, I don't know. I can't speak on it because I don't have, like, you know. But in a way, it's just like, why didn't your child eat yet?
Like I said, I'm not.
You did all this stuff, got ready, came home, did whatever. Like I said, I don't know the backstory, but let's just say all that happened. We leave, and then it's like, oh yeah, let me get her something to eat. What the hell was you doing?
Yeah.
What was you doing?
Yeah.
So I don't know. So it's just like, and you want me to pay for it? Ain't nothing wrong with paying for it. It's $5 a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
But it's the principle.
Yeah.
There it is.
But
then again, it's not, because it's like, you talking to this woman, or you know what I'm saying. So it's like it all comes. The hell, it all comes in within it.
But I feel like, specifically again with that situation, it's like, I feel like what I will say, the woman didn't feel, what I think you're touching on is it becomes problematic if a woman starts expecting something, right? Like,
some things are expected too, though.
Like, maybe expected.
That's why I say a lot of things is just, it's yin and yang and go hand in hand. It's like you can't win or lose. It's like you just gotta do it necessarily. I don't know.
I'm trying to look for a better word for expected, but that's the only word I can think of right now. It's like I feel like at the end of the day, it depends on the person. Because a woman that's genuine, that's like, yo, can you take me here? I'm trying to buy something to take back home for my kid. That the way that it was presented in the scenario, she genuinely came off like, I'm not expecting the guy to pay for something that I typically pay for on a day-to-day basis for my own kid. Like, she wasn't looking for a handout necessarily, right? But let's not negate the fact that there are some women out there that are like, I'm gonna see what I can milk this situation for, milk this guy for, right? And that's where I feel like a lot of guys may not be able to decipher who's genuine versus who is trying to be on some scamming type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
who's genuine, who's trying to get.
Yeah, and like
I can see that.
Yeah, so and then again too, if you're just flat out inexperienced about certain things, like I also too, after listening to that snippet of the podcast, I just felt like if a guy has never dealt with a woman that had a kid in that situation, he may not see genuinely what he did wrong in that certain scenario
necessarily.
And I don't feel like the thing that I did disagree with how she moved about after the fact, which she has the right to maneuver however she wants. But the thing that I necessarily disagreed with in that scenario was just how the friend called the dude a broke dude. She labeled the guy basically the same thing. She was like, "Oh, you can't even." She was like, "I didn't expect you." Yeah, she was like, "I didn't expect him."
So why get mad when I don't do it? So
but she got offended by it at the same time, and then she cut him off like cold turkey and was like, "Nah, we're not. There's no future here." And it's just like, sis, if y'all are trying to, get to know one another and build something, that's just a simple conversation that should have took place. So I feel like if y'all are trying to get serious, you should have just been like, FYI going forward.
Yeah.
Not that I require this of you anytime we go out for you to finance and like help certain stuff with my kid.
But there's some women who really think like that.
Yeah, but like you said, like someone
at the same time it's like
wired like that.
But at the same time it's like if we're gonna be invested in this comes with the total package. Yeah, it comes with it. Like I said, I can't speak on it because I don't know about that. But
yeah,
as far as I don't know, man. That's weird. That's a good subject.
I just feel like too. Again, it's hard to see someone's perspective if you haven't been in those shoes before,
right?
And again, that's why I feel like she came down maybe a little too hard on the guy because again, if he's never dealt with a woman that came with a kid before, he could.
What do you expect for me to do?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah,
it's my first time. I didn't know I was supposed to pay. Yeah, I can see that.
Or not even supposed to pay, but the fact that you didn't offer to pay. Because she said in the podcast that she still would have paid regardless, but it's just the fact that he was so okay with not offering.
Okay. Well, that changes everything. Then. Yeah, that changes.
That's basically where she was coming from. But again, the part that I disagreed, the only part that I honestly disagreed with. Was the outcome in this whole scenario where she was like, nah, that screams broke boy to me.
Yeah.
I gotta move on to the next one. It's just like, sis. And she also admitted that was the only bad part of the whole date experience that they had. I'm like, so you don't allow that one, bad moment to
instead of just asking him why didn't he or whatever.
I feel like, and even if that was the first date, they didn't know each other that well, I feel like maybe that's another reason why he was like, yo, I'm just trying to get to know you. Like, I don't really know, with the kid situation, how to deal with this. Like, at the end of the day, I just felt like that shouldn't have been a deal breaker. And once you guys got a few more dates in, long as it wasn't something that was a repetitive behavior, and even if it was, again, I just feel like it's a conversation that should have took place.
Yeah. And y'all figured it out. Yeah, that's a conversation that should have happened.
Yeah.
Because, $5 in a toy.
$5
in a toy.
You probably spent way more than that, on the food that you guys ate at the restaurant too.
I hope they spent more than $5.
Right, bro. If you don't have $5 to just toss out there after you're the one that initiated the date, you probably should have stayed home.
Some noodles. There's some shrimp in it.
It's spaghetti in there.
It's spaghetti in there.
Dang, the spaghetti threw me off a little bit. Sorry. Lost my whole train of thought. But I feel like, again, going back to the point that I feel like with the gender roles, I feel like our generation in general is kind of blurring those lines a bit. But since we're blurring those lines, it still comes with a lot of gray area where things can get kind of sticky about what you expect from this person versus this type of person or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like because this generation, I feel like from what we were told and what we seen brought up into what we see on social media now. I feel like most people are torn between the two, like how a man is supposed to be or how a woman is supposed to be. We're torn between social media and what we were brought up seeing or told, you know. Yeah, that's how I see it.
And I feel like what I'm about to get into next is definitely about to be real sticky. But again, it's something that is super recent. That just happened, I think, yesterday on social media. Did you see the stuff with Lil Mama?
Mm-mm.
So basically, Lil Mama was on live, and
lip gloss is popping.
Yeah, lip gloss is popping. So she was on live, and it's from what I saw, it looks like she was having a conversation with someone about basically kids. And when I say kids, I legit mean like elementary age. Basically deciding that they are gay and or wanting to become transgender. And and the stance that she had on it, in a nutshell, again, this isn't verbatim, but the gist of the conversation was she feels like kids that young of an age don't necessarily know what being gay is, or they shouldn't have that much power and authority to decide at that young of an age what they identify as sexual orientation wise, and especially what gender they identify with at that young of an age. And I feel like the example that she gave was really solid, because she basically was like, she basically said that's like if her niece comes to her and says, "Oh, I think I'm a lesbian," and she asks like, "What makes you think you're a lesbian?" And she's like, "Oh, because no, I'm sorry, not a lesbian." I think what she said specifically was the niece, as if the niece came to her and was like, "I think I want to be a man." And she's like, "Why do you think you want to be a man?" And she's like, "Oh, because I like doing X, Y, and Z, and all these things are things that men do." And Lil Mama broke it down, and it was essentially was like, I feel like those are conversations like when kids come to you with information like that, that's a moment you should use to teach them that just because you have certain things that may be more so the other gender identifies that doesn't make you that type of person.
I can understand.
So I actually thought she handled that topic really well, but people really started dragging her for her response on social media.
And all I would say, y'all don't hurt me for this. The community. You can't talk about. Why can't you talk about the gay community? I mean, I understand. It's like I have no problem with it. Do what you want. Do what you please. But it's like if someone has an opinion just like everyone does, it's like it's a big problem. It's a big problem. But as far as that is the children thing, I don't know, because I don't even want to talk about it. Somebody might try to flag me for it, but I don't give a damn. I feel like as a child, as I grew up hearing, you should stay in a child's place. I feel like that stuff is very mature. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If that's the way you feel, fine. Then later on, you might feel a certain way. Hell, when I grew up, I remember I wanted to be an astronaut.
Listen,
I'm not going to space. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to space. I thought I was an astronaut. Mama, I want to be an astronaut. I'm an astronaut. Later on, couldn't tell. I didn't even think about being an astronaut. So it's like, as a child, I feel like your mind is not developed as much and whatever. And then some people will tell you that it is, and I felt this way from day one, and I can't tell you otherwise. So who am I to tell you you're a lie? You know what I'm saying? Who am I to tell you you're lying? So at the end of the day, it's like I hate to say it, it's a left and a right thing. Do what you want. You know?
I get what you're saying too. So to speak on for starters, I think that was a great example you gave. Like, if you think back to certain mindsets that you had as a kid, hell, I can even think back to things that I thought about as far back as like high school, right? I remember in high school, I remember like in high school being like, oh, like I remember I was so pressed to turn 18 so I could get my first tattoo. Mm-hmm. And granted, I got the tattoo I wanted, and I'm still proud of it to this day. But it's like I even remember certain ideas I had with something permanent like tattoos that I'm so happy that I really took the time to think about and did not follow through with, because I would look back at it and be like, now why the hell did I do that?
It's just a phase. Not even a phase, or it's a thought or whatever it may be. So that's why it's like, as a child, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that's such a big decision, a permanent decision too, especially when you get into like the transgender conversation.
More power to you.
You know, I feel like that's such a like permanent, mature type of decision. I feel like going back to what you said, I just feel like kids should be left in the child's place.
Yeah, sit at the kids' table.
Yeah, and I feel like, dang, it was something. Now, if the child feels this way at that young of an age, and then they keep that mindset until they're an adult. Mm-hmm. Now, once you're an adult, I mean, you're grown at that point. Whatever choices you made, you know, that's on you. You have the freedom and the right to do that at that point in time. But I just feel like giving kids the right to identify something like that at such a young age, and not even being able to wrap their minds around what this
actually really is, besides other than two boys like each other or two girls like each other, not necessarily, you know, the whole everything within it. So it's like, to me, it's kind of weird. Yeah, it's just weird. It's just a child should really just have that innocence of a child, not that, mommy, I'm gay. Yeah, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? You're a child. Yeah, go watch. Well, I don't know what kids watch now, but you know what I'm saying? It's like that's kind of weird now, and I feel like it's almost like to a point where it's like they're just pushing children to be adults. Yeah, at like 6, 7, like you have to be an adult. Make a decision. What's your gender? Yeah. Who do you like? Yeah. What you want to be? Yeah. What's going on? So it's weird to me. It's weird.
And going back to what you said about, we're probably still, even though I feel like honestly, I feel like regardless of what you say when it pertains to the gay community, you're always going to be scrutinized too, whether it's a respectful conversation, especially, of course, naturally, if it's a disrespectful type of conversation, you're talking out your neck reckless or whatever, that's one thing. Right. But even like the way we're talking now, we're not bashing anybody, but I guarantee you,
come on, Black,
somebody will.
You don't know how it's feel. You don't know. I just said, I can't tell you how you feel. That's your business. You know what I'm saying? But somebody will still feel offended. Yeah. You know, instead of like, you need to learn about.
Just like with the Lil Mama situation, she got drugged, and thankfully, I feel like she got more support, which actually surprised me, because when I looked, it was even like famous social media people that are homosexuals and a part of that community or whatever. That was like, honestly, like, I agree totally with like the things that she's saying or whatever. So that was cool to see. But the reason, again, why I was surprised is because anytime people speak to that specific community, it's always like a nail in the coffin. Like, you're done. Like, it doesn't matter what you say. If you're not part of that community, it's like, you can't speak on it.
Yeah. That's weird.
And I think it's sticky. To play devil's advocate, though, I feel like my issue is that they just take it to the extreme, because where I can kind of reason with them is that's kind of like how people, I touched on this a little bit in one of my previous episodes, was when maybe white people come at black people and try to make us feel like something should not be deemed as racist. And it's like, well, how can you tell me what should be deemed as racist if you're coming from the superior race? You're the people, you know, performing these racist acts. You're not in our shoes. Who are you to tell and be able to sit there and classify what you define as racist versus not? And I feel like that may kind of coincide with the point that that specific community is trying to say too. But again, I feel like just the way that they go about it is so extreme that people are oftentimes just afraid to speak on any subject matter that pertains to that community.
And then, but I mean, it goes hand in hand with the women being equal too. So it's like, I feel like being that what's a good way to say it? Being that, like, all right, see how women fought for their equal and they fought hard, and you said anything about a woman not being able to do anything, they on your ass. So I feel like it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. They both go hand in hand. So, but at the same time, it's like I not agree, but not saying I don't disagree. But what I'm saying is, when it just comes to a child, I just feel like a child should just be in a child's place. Yeah, that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah. That one, your child should just be in a child's place.
And so, again, this is probably going to take this sticky topic even further left. But since we're saying that kids should be left in a child's place, and since we are talking about gender roles or whatever, do you believe in taking these colors that are deemed as like boy colors versus female colors? Are you okay with, like, basically more so now identifying certain colors more so as acceptable, like unisex colors, like colors like pink?
Yeah, I don't a salmon color shirt right now.
Right.
Because I look good in it though. But as far as like that's like growing up, like, not me per se, but like seeing like little boys pick up baby dolls and you're like, hey, put that baby doll down. Put that baby doll down. Yeah, I believe in that. Yeah. If you're a boy, put the baby doll down. Go get a football or whatever. Yeah. Some people will be like their kids. That's pretty much going off of what I just said. Like, you know what I'm saying? The innocence of a child. But it's like, I don't know. Who am I to say what's right and wrong? It's just it's my opinion. So if you have a boy, put the baby doll down. If it's a girl, hey, go dress up, makeup, the heels, do the whole 9 yards. Yeah. As I take it with it.
So to piggyback off of what you're saying, I, for the most part, agree too. I just feel like, again, if as time goes on and you still decide that you identify more so with the lifestyle of the opposite sex or whatever, again, as you progress and get older in life or whatever, like, again, basically what I'm saying is once you transition and become older and with age, gaining maturity and the knowledge of the type of lifestyle that you're kind of like developing into, I think that change should come natural, and to the point that you're saying, I don't think that's something that should be forced down a kid's throat so early. Or maybe I don't even want to say forced down a kid's throat so early, but maybe I should just say exposed to so early.
Right.
Because too, I feel like something else to touch into while we're still on this topic is I know a lot of people feel some type of way about the way that, again, the gay community is portrayed so heavily on TV. I've spoken with people in the past and family members too that have kids, and they're just like, I feel like they're forcing homosexuality down kids' throat, because it's like no matter what you're looking at on TV these days, it's always 2 women together, 2 men together, and now the way that media is set up, whereas it was a lot more filtered when we were coming up, right? You weren't having all these like, and take the homosexuality out of it. You just weren't having the same amount of sex be on public, like,
regular TV. Yeah.
Like, stuff like that used to be on stuff growing up, like HBO and stuff.
Yeah.
After a certain time at night.
The high channels, 957.
Yeah. Turn on regular primetime TV channels.
Yeah, it's on primetime TV.
Homosexuality and sex together or whatever.
Prime time while families eating dinner.
Yeah, like,
that's a
dinner show, and you're seeing all this stuff being portrayed, and it's making a lot of families feel like, okay, I feel like they're forcing this on my kids to make them think this is a lifestyle they should choose.
Yeah, this is okay.
Or identify with. And again, if they naturally, over years, like, again, if they naturally choose that certain lifestyle or whatever, that's one thing. But again, the issue in most people's homes that don't support that type of stuff being portrayed through media or whatever is just that they feel like they're kind of guiding them to make that sort of decision.
Yeah.
And that's what they kind of want to cut out.
Yeah. And you can see it in a lot of TV shows, a lot of just different commercials really. I've seen it in a lot of commercials. Different, big brands using two men and a child. Nothing is wrong with it. That's what I really want people to understand. Because like you said, someone's going to bash us just for even talking about this. But nothing's wrong with it. It's just like, it's not genuine. It's not organic. It's like, you know what I'm saying? If you want to do that, let that be on your own, not being persuaded to do it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You're not being persuaded to do it. If that's you and that's really genuinely you, have at it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do it because you done seen like, oh well, this show got this. Oh, I could do it too. Then it's like, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say too much on somebody.
Right. Again, to be very clear, we are not out here trying to bash anybody that's a part of that community. We have a lot of respect, and we know that people in that community already deal with a lot. We know it's
got friends there too.
So we're not here to.
I wish y'all could hear how we talk to our friends that are in that community.
Yes,
but we're not gonna do that.
No. But yeah, I just feel like so the gist of this conversation, right? The takeaways, from my opinion, is gender roles nowadays are more so blurred. Like, I believe in them to an extent because, again, I still feel like women should still know how to do certain things that men do in case, again, they face hardships in the families and end up having to carry the weight of a man for,
whatever reason.
A period of time or whatever. Just like men should still be obligated to know how to carry the weight that women carry from time to time. I just feel like, especially when you're having like a family and kids and stuff are involved or whatever, I think that's actually important for kids to see too.
Yeah.
That, I need to be able to do these things that mom does, like the laundry, the cooking, the cleaning, stuff like that.
Being more hospitable. To do the labor part too. Whatever.
I need to be able to have that balance of the labor and the housekeep type of work or whatever.
Yeah.
So again, that's my point of view. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and in tonight's episode again. I just realized we definitely hit our time. We actually went over our time.
We did?
Yeah. Almost been talking for like an hour. But per usual, we like to engage with you guys. Let us know your thoughts, how you feel about tonight's episode, about this particular topic. Let us know in the comments. DM us. You can DM us and leave comments as far as what other type of topics you would like to hear discussed in future episodes. Shout out to my cousin here, Chase, for kicking it with me for tonight. AKA DJ Elroy. Go ahead and, use this platform, sir, to go ahead.
Hey, man, it's your boy, DJ Elroy, man, also known as Chase, man, to my fellow friends, man. Follow me, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, _ DJ Elroy, DJELROY. Y'all follow me, man.
Hey, like I told you guys, I'm plugging all my friends and family on all these podcast episodes.
Yeah, I do bar mitzvahs, bachelor parties, divorce parties. We do it all, man. We do it all. So yeah, man, hit me up, follow me, man.
Oh, did you tell them how to book you?
Oh, it's on the Instagram. Look, I had a card in my back pocket.
You know what? I'm so weak.
Yeah, follow me on all social media, _ DJ Elroy.
I'm going to leave this info in the description down below anyway, so you guys will be able to use it. But again, what I was saying though was I'm big on using this platform or whatever, regardless of who it reaches to or whatever, to promote people that were able to make it through this pandemic and find certain things they found. Some people, like you, this is like a new passion that you discovered, right?
Yeah, within the last year, yeah.
Yeah, so, just like Chase, a lot of other people in our group have been able to use the time during this pandemic to really flourish and discover new things that they probably wouldn't have ever really thought about pursuing had it not been for this time during the pandemic.
Right.
But that being said, again, thanks, Chase. I'm going to leave this in the description, as I stated. And until next time,
peace out.
Thank you for tuning in to sip on this with a Paris. About to get lit with these topics. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for the love and your time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Without further ado, I bring to you